Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Another Friday evening. This means probably another discussion. And sorry, medyo tweak ko lang because I just regained access on my old YouTube channel, which disappeared for a week. Thank you so much, YouTube, for helping me out. We really don't know what happened there, but yeah, this is Zero Hour Discussions again, episode number 14. And going back to discussing superhero movie, one of my favorites, probably one of France's favorites as well,
Yep.
Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and I'm with Mr. Franz Halili of Tara Let's Unpack podcast. How are you doing, good sir?
Hi. Thank you for having me. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you for the invite.
Franz also has his own podcast and audio version. I'm not sure kung may video version ganyan yata
Wala, wala,
in
wala.
YouTube, di ba? Wala.
Audio,
So,
audio
parang
lang.
audio only podcast. I'm going to plug that before we end the stream. But let's go ahead and get to know more about Franz first, probably in the first few minutes. Franz, what do you usually discuss in Tara? Let's unpack also.
Okay, so tara, let's unpack. It's a podcast that discusses or unpacks mga films, series, whether it be American or Hollywood films or like other international films or kahit local. Kasi proud Jologs ako. So, yeah. So, mga series and films yun.
Yeah, so hindi naman siguro geologs, pero ano lang talaga. We do enjoy watching films, series, movies, so whatever our fandom are. And I highly suggest you go and listen to his podcast. Again, mamaya ipa-plug natin yung kanyang page because he also has some top-notch contents and also great guests as they discuss a lot of movies, including a few MCU movies and DC. I think most recent niya yata is Black Widow, if I got that
Um,
right.
my my most recent MCU film is Black Widow. Yeah, Black Widow. Pero my most recent episode was a Filipino film. So yeah.
Okay. So, yun nga, as I said kanina, nawalan ako ng access sa aking YouTube. So, and while working ngayon, medyo restricted na for some damn reason. But yeah, let's go ahead and discuss one of also the best movies the MCU has ever made. But before
Yep.
that,
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
ladies and gentlemen, you've been warned by Captain Rogers if you want to go out, but we won't suggest you go out. But yeah, Captain America Winter Soldier is the second installment in the Captain America franchise within the MCU. And it stars a lot of all-star cast also, including Steve Rogers. There's also Nick Fury. Uh, Black Widow is also there, and also Bucky Barnes, which is better known as the Winter Soldier. Do you remember, France, yung feeling ng pinanood mo to before, first time? Do you still
Okay.
remember?
So I must admit I didn't watch this in the cinemas like when it showed kasi that
Mm.
time I think I was in college so medyo busy. So medyo and wala akong time noon kasi I was juggling
Mm.
org stuff, I was juggling ACADS. So when I first watched this, it was in Star Movies or HBO. I think it's Star Movies, I believe, nung may nagki-cable pa ako. So hindi pa
Mm.
uso yung Netflix noon, 2014 pa to eh.
Yep.
So yeah, the first time I watched this, I really thought to myself parang, oh my God, sobrang iba na to for a superhero film. Parang hindi siya flashy in a sense na may mga monsters, na
Mm.
may mga malalaking explosions na sobrang like life and death situation in terms of yung buong mundo ganun. The main core of this film was really more about the people versus the people, the people versus the bureaucracy of Shield or rather Hydra na, diba? So
Mm.
ang ganda ng I really loved it. Like especially every time I rewatch it, lalo ko pa siyang nilalove kasi I really get to discover a lot more dun sa film as well as I really love the tone ng gantong film. Like, very spy thriller talaga.
Yeah, it
And
is.
top-notch fight scenes. Grabe.
Yeah, it is. And just to share my experience, I think napanood ko to as far as I could remember. Actually, lahat ng Captain America napanood ko in cinemas for
Mm.
lucky me na napanood ko since off ko before. But I could remember going into the cinema watching this one and my expectations were quite low. The main reason why kasi fan ako ng ng Mission Impossible, which is
Mm.
also a drama, thriller, action, and fan din ako ni Captain America. So I set my expectations quite low dahil maganda yung first Avenger. That's
Yeah.
also a different show, different tone of movie.
Yep.
When I watched this one, first 10 minutes pa lang blown away na ako dahil ano na siya eh, ibang-iba siya. It's actually closer to The Dark Knight kung tutuusin. It's a bit closer to The Dark Knight as far as the writing is concerned. Talagang
Yeah.
in-emphasize nila yung thriller part of the movie rather than being the usual you said it a while ago, the usual stakes na magugunaw yung mundo, masisira yung mundo and we need heroes to save it. It wasn't really that. But yeah, and I thoroughly enjoyed the opportunity in watching this one in cinema kasi ano din 3D din. Ay not 3D IMAX yata. Ito.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yung nag-IMAX ako nito. And I love the characters also. Ikaw nga tanungin kita, sino paborito mo dito? Probably Captain America din.
No, actually, no. My
mm,
favorite character in this film is Black Widow. Ewan ko like, as much as I love the Black Widow film, dito sa, the Black Widow in Captain America, The Winter Soldier was the best Black Widow in MCU. Like,
yes, it is.
from the look, like, from the, like, overall get up, the costume and all, on her fights, on her, like, kung ganong ka-heavy yung scenes niya. Like, ito yung favorite kong Black Widow film. Ito yung favorite kong MCU film na nandito si Black Widow. Yeah. But I love the film Black Widow. Pero dito ko siya talaga sobrang naging favorite. Especially when she pretended to be one of the, yung sa, hindi ko, tawag doon yung parang mga, yung
Parang
secretary.
stakeholders nila, di ba?
Yeah,
One
yeah,
of the
when she
stakeholders.
pretended to remove the mask. Yeah, that was my favorite moment. And yeah.
Yeah, so before we proceed, guys, I'm sorry, friends, we have some fans here. So Nicole Lambodo says, people, let's
Wow, Nicole
go.
Angulo.
Yeah, and then I have some friends also from the US tuning in. Brightest day. Thanks for being here. All hail to you guys. The Moonlock Podcast. What's up?
What's
Idol
up, Yvonne?
Cadonia. And yeah, Miss IMAX from Nicole. Also, yeah, we do have some West Coast and East Coast friends here. Brightest day. Jace is here. Thank you so much for hanging out, brother. Uh, I still owe you a Black Widow discussion, Jace. So we're going to discuss that sometime soon. But okay, I would definitely agree, man. The iteration of the Black Widow character Natasha, dito na yan na perfect
Yeah,
talaga.
it's
And it's unpopular kasi ikaw, I think you enjoy Black Widow, and me, I think very low of that movie for some reason. Probably in the next discussion na lang. But the big thing about this movie regarding Natasha, you didn't know kung talagang kalaban siya or kaibigan. That's
yeah,
one of the best
mm,
aspects na meron siya as a spy because that's how
yeah,
Natasha is written even in the comics. Na
yep,
ano siya spy siya Russian spy. Here, talagang pinakita niya yung ano niya, repertoire niya. Even yung acting as Black Widow was great. My favorite character here, syempre, Steve Rogers. Bias ako kay Captain America for some
yeah,
reason also. Pero I enjoyed Natasha din talaga. Kasi yung dynamics nilang dalawa,
yeah,
it's
diba?
like
Super.
iba yung partnership nila eh. You could see yung cohesiveness and I just watched something a few days ago na sinabi na some of their lines yata sila yung gumawa.
Yeah,
So
the
talagang
chemistry was really there.
yeah. chemistry was indeed there. And what can you say about Sebastian Stan as the Winter Soldier?
Yeah, Sebastian Stan as Winter Soldier could never have been casted more perfectly. Like he really fits the role. Sebastian Stan is he looks very stoic, like when he's outside character, and that's really in the comics. Kasi Winter Soldier is really like that, eh. Very
Mm,
stoic, very serious, and the way Sebastian Stan portrays that character is really, it's really good in terms of his characterization, his building of the character, and also how he like trained for it. Like his fight scenes were fucking wild, man. Like
oh
there
yeah.
were the knife fights, the way he was just like throwing people off cars, of buildings. So that's why like I super other than Natasha, of course. Bucky and Steve are my favorite characters in this film. Actually, lahat talaga kasi ganun kong kalove yung film na to.
Naging ano sila, 'di ba? Yung bihira kasi makita ng movie na sobrang cohesive ng cast.
Yeah.
And this is
Mhm.
actually one of the movie. Kasi I was comparing it with The Dark Knight. Kasi ganun yung ginawa nila eh. Naging cohesive yung cast nila. Even you could see yung may chemistry sila.
Yeah.
Though I would put an edge sa chemistry level dito dahil
The
it's already obvious talaga.
the ensemble was really good. Even from from Maria Hill's character, diba? Sobrang pasok din siya in terms of like they're really cohesive. Like it's a spy film, and the movie was made up of spies. So yeah,
And yeah, Maria Hill, sino pa ba si
Nick Fury, Sharon
si
Carter,
Rister. What's the name of yung presidente ng ay na hindi mo nakalimutan ko tuloy yung
si
pangalan.
Pierce,
Si ano, yeah, si Pierce or si
yeah,
Robert Redford. Yung character niya sobrang polarizing kung tutuusin. It's another thing in this movie na you get to realize that walang mapagkatiwalaan or
yeah,
Steve
super,
Rogers cannot trust anyone. And one of the biggest examples here is yun nga, when he discovered that Natasha went to that boat with a different agenda in mind, or at
yeah,
least a different assignment in mind. So he fought Captain America fought one of my favorite, or at least one of the best MMA fighters of all time, George
Troy
St.
St.
Pierre.
Pierre,
And ang ganda ng fight scene na yun. Medyo bitin siya kung tutusin.
yeah,
But you have to give props to George showing up and nagpakita siya ng konting moves
yeah. Like
kay Steve.
every appearance ni George St. Pierre sa MCU is really bitin. Like even in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
Yeah.
I wanted more Batroc the Leaper, eh. Like ganon.
Oo, sandali nga lang which is, yeah, magkano ba binabayad niyo kay George? Ngayon iniisip ko, eh.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was fun seeing him kasi parang sobrang bihira mo makita ng ng MMA fighter talaga. Even
yeah,
here, the other fighter is not really that, hindi man siya fighter pero wrestler din, which is Dave Bautista. That's ano iba siya eh. Um, what are your highlights dito sa movie na to? Or at least give me probably your top three scenes dito sa movie na to.
all right. My top three scenes in this film. Is it by order ba to? Like by rank
No,
or
it's up to
any
you,
lang?
brother. It's up to
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, any. So first is the opening sequence when they were at the Lumerian Star. So Captain America had fucking awesome scenes there, like fight scenes. Then Black Widow with all her spy gear going down the ship ng nakahang lang dun sa ang tawag dito? So yung grip, yung rope, tapos nakahang lang, tapos shooting people, yeah.
Mm.
Tapos yung buong sequence na yun, ang ganda nun, sa ship. And then next one is another standout is when they were in Camp Leahy in New Jersey when they
Mm.
found out how Hydra infiltrated Shield. So that's where Arnim Zola like told them the plan that Hydra had from starting from World War II up to now, na everything that happened in history, like every assassination attempt on world leaders was by Hydra, and the plan that what's the name of the project? Project Insight
Site.
was Hydra's plan as well. Diba?
Mm.
And of course, one of the best scenes in the whole MCU, it was the elevator scene where Steve Rogers, alam naman natin, was tawag doon, wala
Manhandling people.
na corner siya, and he just beat the shit out of everyone. So yeah.
I like the ano din, the elevator scene for a lot of reasons. Kasi eh, when I look at it, this is the time na after ng meeting nila ni ano ni Pierce or ni Robert Redford, and they were really setting him up to fall na talaga. They're
Yeah.
really finding some ways na how do we eliminate Steve, or kapag hindi natin siya ma-turn, uh, how do we eliminate him? So this guy actually had the gall to throw everything, even his own team. Yun yung
True.
doon eh, own team niya, which is pre-Crossbones. Nandun na si Crossbones actually,
Yeah,
pero
strike
wala pa.
team. Yeah.
You could feel the air of, what do you call this? Air of, ban term to? Kalimutan ko tuloy. May ano sila, kabado silang lahat sa
Yeah.
loob ng elevator. You could feel that air then.
Yeah. They're
Regardless,
ano.
they knew kahit gaano kadami sila, there is a chance that Steve Rogers will always come up on top. And
Yeah.
Steve knows it. Alam niya mananalo siya. Pero pinakita niya na, yeah, pinakita ko yung ano kanina, yung clip kanina before we start. And they wanna go out. Kasi he knew na kaya niyang i-injure tong mga taon to, which is
Yeah.
very fun. And ganyan nangyari doon, natapos. And after that, yung escape scene niya with the motorcycle and
Mhm.
hinarang siya ng
Yeah.
ano, ship. Another good scene. For me, I would agree also, we have something in common there pagdating sa punta nila dun sa underground base, because that builds a lot of, what they call this, it builds a lot of narrative of what's really happening, and the use of Zola as an AI, which is very advanced for its time, di ba? Parang 70s yata yun, or 60s, or even 50s
Yeah.
pa yata, hindi ko maalala, na
The
ginawa na
technology
siyang
that they
may,
use.
may, may technology na silang ganun,
Yeah.
which is very uncommon for that time. And ano pa ba? Dami din eh. Dami magagandang scenes dito eh.
Yeah, super many to mention, honestly.
Too many to
Super.
mention. Even the time when Nick Fury went to Steve Rogers'
Apartment.
home apartment,
Yeah.
because they were building up na you cannot trust anyone. Yun yung sinabi niya eh, in code pa eh. Tapos pinatay siya, allegedly. Pinatay siya allegedly ni Winter Soldier. And then you discover na yung kapitbahay pala niya is also Shield, binabantayan siya, giving more tension on Steve on who to trust. Sakala
Yeah.
niya normal yung mga tao around niya.
Actually, I forgot to mention, like, now, ewan ko ba't ko nakalimutan to. Of course, one of the best scenes in the MCU, again, one of the best scenes is the highway fight scene that happened between Falcon, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Black Widow, when they were just like doing a car chase lang. Tapos, yun na, nagrambulan na silang lahat doon. It was the
Mm.
first time Cap saw Bucky as Winter Soldier, tapos yung night fight, then Black Widow using her smart, and Falcon first time natin makita in action. So wala, super wild, sobrang gandang sequence na yun. Top tier.
Yeah, I think that takes a lot of nod then, because a lot of the MCU movies, or at least moving forward, yung medyo realistic, like sabihin natin Black Widow and yung mga iba pa na lower tier, not yung super powerful. Trinay nilang gawin or imitate yung scene na yun. And ito yung pinakamaganda. I'm sorry. Ito yung pinakamagandang road fight, or at least yun nga, buong laban na yon, you could see then yung reaction ni ano ni Bucky. Talagang wala
Yeah,
siyang pakialam. He just
yeah,
wants to kill whoever stands in his way. And Steve, who's trying to fight off non-lethally, uh, but he failed. And muntik na
yeah,
mamatay si ano doon, si Natasha doon.
yeah.
Sa
She got
binato
shot.
ni yeah, and also yung ba yata yung binato niya yata yung bomba, 'di ba? Also.
Yeah, ito yung ano, when Bucky was like rolled the grenade under the car kasi
Yeah,
he
and
thought that Natasha was talking to
still there.
someone, but it was a phone recording lang.
Yun
Sobrang cool
pala.
nun.
Oh, sobrang ano dun. And also going back to forgot din to mention yung sinet-up nila si Nick Fury, if you could remember, 'di ba? Sinet-up nila si Nick Fury and then
Yeah,
naipit siya sa kotse.
that scene sobrang cool din nun, man.
Mm. Na ano nga ako, paano ka may injure nung naipit ka pa talaga ng todo? Is it your arm got broken or something? Pero he was faced with the fact that he knew na pwede siya mamatay.
Yeah,
Regardless kung anong gamit niya. Dahil sobrang dami. If wala yung we call this in laser niya, he could have been dead. Leading nga dun sa apartment scene. So,
yeah,
uh,
but he's a spy, so alam naman natin, parang spies are like Boy Scouts, laging handa.
mm, laging handa. Uh, what can you say about I know you also watched the first Avenger, pero what can you say about Steve Rogers in the first Avenger compared to the Steve Rogers Captain America version here in the Winter Soldier? Did you
Okay, so
notice anything new?
yeah, Steve Rogers in Captain America: The First Avenger. Um, let's put this in this perspective. Like when you say that someone is wearing rose-colored glasses, they only see like the good things in life, diba? So parang Steve Rogers in Captain America: The First Avenger. The film was like filtered in a rose-colored filter. Kumbaga, it's not as character heavy. It's very aspirational. It's very like a fantasy, a superhero film, ika nga. But the change of tone in Captain America: The Winter Soldier made Steve Rogers more human, more relatable compared to the other Avengers. Because there we
Mm,
have your Iron Man, we have your Thor. They're basically gods, or they're basically like futuristic like science from the future. Ganun, ganun. But when it
mm,
comes to Steve Rogers, he's just a man, an honorable man given a serum. Pero in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, you felt his humanity because he was trying to get back to the world. He had his notebook with the things that he needs to catch up on, and his character developed more layers because there was this aspect of Bucky, there was this aspect of Agent Carter, as Peggy Carter dying. Ay, sorry, Peggy Carter in the hospital. And then there's this aspect of him. Sino ba yung paniniwalaan niya with this new world? Especially that he found out that S.H.I.E.L.D. was taken over by Hydra, diba?
mm.
So, the difference was Captain America in The Winter Soldier in the second film was more gritty, was more real, and was more relatable compared to the Captain America in the first film. You saw him here as like one of us compared to the first film na superhero. Yeah.
Yeah, the realism aspect was really much
Yeah.
more involved in this movie as
Yeah.
compared to Captain America because one could make an argument sa First Avenger because he was still establishing as a character. Ginamit din siya ng US Army as an icon. So yung pagiging
Yeah.
superstar niya was actually one of the facets on why he became Captain America, which na hindi naman talaga siya captain kung tutuusin back then. But it was also his naivete na everyone can be good, everyone can be ganda. It's more Supermanish nga yung ugali niya kung tutuusin. Dito na-expose siya because he slept, di ba? He went into cryosleep unintentionally. Wala siya magawa. And then he opened up into a world 60 years after. I think 50, 60 na iba na yung civilization ngayon. And he
Ah,
didn't even know who he's talking to. Yung ending nga ng ng First Avenger na pagkising niya, oy, we're just in a setup room. Rediscovered na pagpunta niya sa New York or something. Okay, so nasa ibang realm na ako. Or sorry, ibang time na ako. Time. And yeah, even dun sa yun sa boat scene, you could see na hindi siya makapaniwala na may nagsisinungaling sa kanya.
yeah,
It's really unrealistic for a person na ganun. Pero you can't blame him kasi he didn't know kung ano ng culture ngayon. And it's a mission. She's part of your team, Black Widow. And you would believe na parang, or at least he would believe na, okay, whatever secrecy na meron ka, I should know to because I'm the captain. And then
yeah,
he confronted Nick Fury na, why did Natasha do this without me knowing it? Parang dun yung nabibuild na, okay, hindi ka mapagkakatiwalaan si Nick with this part. And then going to, after a few scenes, yun nga, meeting nila ni Robert Redford na kino-question siya. Tapos ganun, okay, so mas lalo na akong walang pagkakatiwalaan ngayon. After that, matay si Nick Fury. Kinausap niya si Natasha in the hospital, confronting her. Did you really know this? Alam niya. So ngayon, we have established that no one is safe. No, you can trust anyone but yourself. Pero you could see naman na Captain America has been built to be a trusting person regardless kung ano ka, kung masama ka. Nandun sa
yeah.
nature niya eh. Mabait talaga si Steve Rogers eh, in nature. Which is also one of the facets of Captain America. So, and um, anong reaction mo nung narinig mo yung Hail Hydra dun sa isang yung sa senator, pati dun sa isang shield operative. It's the first time na narinig natin yun actually from them.
Wala. Say, parang I was watching something na parang ako rin for myself, parang kasalanan ko. Hindi, joke lang. Parang na-trigger ako na
Yeah.
parang oh my God, bakit sila Hydra? Akala ko they're the good guys. Especially that senator, 'di ba? Like he was in
Mm.
Iron Man 2. Pero in Iron Man 2 he was already a dick eh. Pero
Mm.
still, 'di ba, parang oh no, knowing that na may in this level of or in this high of a position in the government and merong Hydra, parang oh my God, what can happen? Yun.
Uh, I think it could actually relate then in real life because we really don't know what's going on.
True.
It could happen. You could see espionage in other countries, especially in the US. Parang yun din ang highlight nila dito. Wala kang mapagkakatiwalaan within the system, which is 100% true. But it's life. It's how you do things, and
Yeah.
may unintended casualties done along the way. It's not really our fault, pero you could only believe people kasi they're set into power. Ganon din sa Steve Rogers. He is a soldier. Sinabi naman niya yun eh. Even before he is a soldier, pero he was placed in a decision in the Avengers na kailangan niya mag-lead kasi he's also a captain and one of their more compasses. Um, let's go ahead and talk about Bucky Barnes here. Kasi as far as we all know, on the previous movie, First Avenger, nahulog siya.
Yeah.
And kinuha siya ni Adam Zola, experimented on him, and made him into a super soldier. But I think the Winter Soldier project wasn't just him, di ba? I
Yeah, it
spoilers na sa
wasn't.
mga spoilers na sa Civil War, but it wasn't just him, di ba?
Yeah.
And nung lumabas si Bucky Barnes na the first time, were you expecting him to be like that na or hindi ba?
When he was first revealed to be as the Winter
Yeah.
Soldier ba?
Mm.
I already knew because I read the comic books, and in the comic books, I know that Bucky Barnes is the Winter Soldier. So it was like a no-brainer for me. Pero siguro ano pa rin, like syempre ando pa rin yung emotion, especially when it was Steve who saw Bucky for the first time. Sobrang, I really felt what Steve felt. Kasi when Steve said, Bucky, alam mong, andun yung sense of confusion, andun yung sense of, I thought you died a long time ago. Bakit nandyan ka? And bakit magmukha tayong magka-age pa rin? So, yeah, super akong either na sad or sobra akong for Steve. Pero for myself kasi I know na he's the Winter Soldier.
Mm.
Pero
Yeah,
great reveal, sobra.
yeah. Ako aminado ako na hindi ko masyado finalo yung comics due to finances, pero I'm fully aware na si Bucky Barnes became the Winter Soldier after a few
Yeah.
seasons, Captain America. And I was surprised in this time around because I've been listening to or watching Comics Explained and also Comic Historian. And nagulat ako before na okay, so talagang ganito siya.
Yeah.
Talagang stoic siya, walang pakialam, which I would expect from a super soldier, manipulated and also mind controlled. Pero ibang-iba yung pagka-bombastic ng pagpasok niya.
Yeah.
Ibang-iba
Super.
talaga eh. And this was actually the first time na siguro naramdaman din nila Nick Fury na okay, there's someone the same level ni Captain America. And he's been
Yeah.
killing people for the longest time. So, um, yeah, I was surprised, also hyped up na okay, ngayon meron ng katapat si Steve. Pero we all know naman, we all know the history naman na eventually hindi naman
Yeah.
yun ang mangyayari talaga. And what was your insight dito when you realized then na infiltrated na yung shield? Na wala nang pwedeng balikan muna sila Captain America. Was there
To be honest, first
any
kong naisip,
sige.
was paano na yung Agents of Shield kasi I was a big
Mhm.
I'm a big watcher of Agents of Shield as well. So when I saw this film, buti na lang buti na lang updated ako sa episodes ng Agents of Shield. So yeah, yun yung unang naisip ko, like paano yung Agents of Shield. Pero Agents of Shield did a great episode then, like introducing Mockingbird si Bobby Morris on that
Mm.
episode. Pero when watching this film, when I found out that when I found out that Shield was infiltrated by Hydra, wala, para akong parang nag-sync yung heart ko kasi I like the Shield in Avengers, the film, the 2012 film, was really a big part of saving the world. Tapos right now I was only thinking what will come in the future. Parang kung wala ng Shield, sino na yung magbibigay sa Avengers ng resources, ng leads, or sino na yung mag-aano sa kanila together, especially when Nick Fury quote-unquote retired. Pero yun pala, Shield went underground lang. So yeah, yun yung una kong naisip na parang, paano na yung future? And thankfully, nandito na tayo sa future. Alam naman natin yan na yung mga nangyari.
Yeah, alam natin kung ano nangyari. Though aminado ako, man, I didn't fully watch Agents of Shield then kasi wala akong oras eh. Wala akong oras before. Talagang concentrate in work. Actually, itong ginagawa ko nga ngayon ko lang naisip gawin dahil marami tayong oras so far. Ikaw, I know you're pretty busy at this point in time kaya
Yeah,
but yeah, ako na ano ko yun, parang okay, so infiltrated and shield. How many more teams or how many more groups na meron silang influence over with? Sabihin natin yung government meron ka na. Yung shield meron ka na. So what's next? Sabihin natin yung Stark Industries also have one? Or iniisip ko eh.
yeah.
Di ba?
Kasi they basically lord all over military groups or like yung mga secret organizations eh. Parang Shield yung isa sa
Top.
pinakamalaki eh. So most likely may mga tao talaga na members niyan. Ganun.
Yeah. It's really ironic din, di ba, na parang hindi natin nakita tong mga to during that time na yung first attempt natin tapusin yung Hydra.
Yeah,
Hindi
oo.
hindi na na-realize at least yung team nila Tommy Lee Jones before na we need to weed out everything. But what you can
Yeah.
say, hindi mo rin masabi eh. Kasi kung spy ka, and top of the line yung mga spies ng ng Hydra, mahirap talaga. It's also seen in Captain America First Avenger, if you remember yung experimentation kay Steve, yung yun nga, yung transition niya to super soldier na may nakapasok. May nakapasok dun sa experiment room na hindi
Oo.
nila alam. So, hindi mo rin masisi, lax ba, talaga may intel kayo within the inside. Pero actually, nung time na yun, sabi ko, paano nakapasok to? Was someone actually more involved even back then?
Ang ganda nung
Well,
ano, ang ganda nung plan nila kasi when they infiltrated Hydra, na
mm,
nag-start talaga, like, it was Zola's plan all along, pun intended. Pero parang si Zola talaga yung parang main brain, kumbaga, nung plan. It started when he was like recruited by SHIELD or by SSR, yung
yeah.
organization before SHIELD after World War II nga. So, the next start. So, ang ganda ng setup, ang ganda ng ginawa niyang plans. So, yun, nakita naman natin, they successfully infiltrated SHIELD without SHIELD knowing. Like, ever since sa birth ng SHIELD, sa pagkapanganak ng SHIELD, andun na yung Hydra. So, tama
Mm,
yung explanation na Hydra grew as a parasite inside SHIELD. So,
yeah. So Adam Zoll is actually very smart.
yeah.
Hindi lang natin masyado nakita nung ng First Avenger. Except dun sa paggawa nung mga gamit. Di ba
Yeah.
yun usually yung ginagawa niya is R&D research. Okay, so fight scenes here, as you said a while ago, na sobrang top-notch for its time yung fight scenes niya. Even today, kapag pinanood mo yung, if you guys watching, get to rewatch the whole thing, yung fight scenes ng Winter Soldier is very, very good
Yeah.
talaga. Because again, it's also grounded with realism and nagkaroon ng training time talaga sila, Sebastian nandito eh. There's some some videos na pinakita. They trained for about 5 months yata or something. Even lalo na yung knife scene, pucha. Okay. It's, nung tinitignan ko, sabi ko, is it really him? Tapos nung reveal na nag-training sila, I have to take the word nga. Naka-mute ka, man. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yung nga doon. Ano yung mga favorite mo doon? Except sabihin na natin, sinabi mo na yung yung sa bridge eh. Anything else na paborito mo na fight scenes?
Ano pa ba?
Pati yung elevator, huwag mo na sabihin, nasabi mo na kanina.
Yeah. Siguro isa ko pang favorite dun is yung last part, yung nasa helicarriers na sila. Ito na yung to be honest, when I was watching this, I really don't know if they will succeed or not, because ito nga it was Captain America versus Winter Soldier, and Winter Soldier was getting the upper hand versus Steve.
Mm,
So parang isang USB na lang or isang flash drive na lang yung kailangan nilang ilagay para para isaksak
override.
dun sa
Yeah.
para ma-override yung system, di ba? So parang sobrang niya. So tapos aside from the fight, it was really emotional kasi it was two childhood friends, like more like brothers, na
Mm.
going at it, and pare-pareho lang silang biktima ng state nila. Like Captain America was just a result of American experimentation, and the Winter Soldier was a result of the Russian experimentation. So, kumbaga parang they had no choice but to fight, but hindi naman nila piniling lumaban. Parang they were just fielded into that battle. And ang ganda lang nung palitan ng scenes nila when Captain America decided to not fight anymore because Bucky was his best friend. And si Bucky naman on his end, parang unti-unti na nagkakaroon, going back to his senses. So yeah, ang ganda nun, ang ganda rin nun. Like, again, like, almost all fight scenes or almost everything in this film was really perfect for me.
Mm. Nagustuhan ko din yung yung side fight doon yung kay kay Crossbones or pre-Crossbones saka kay Falcon.
Falcon.
Yung sa
Oo,
building.
ganda nun. Oo.
Tuwan-tuwa ako dun dahil you could see okay, you have super soldiers fighting on the other side naman si Natasha may sarili din na nilaban siya, and then also you see this guy Falcon, si Falcon may laban din. This time around talagang human to human fight siya.
Oo.
You would expect na okay, so we have three fights in the same one. One thing I could also give credit this movie, yung seamless transition ng mga camera sa fights niya.
Yeah, oo, super.
Di ba, hindi siya katulad ng ibang movies na yung multiple fights na parang bakit nandito na? Dito talagang
Mm-mm.
okay, so nai-enjoy mo na you could see that iba-iba yung stakes nila. Yun
Yeah.
yun yung sasabihin ko. Pero they're done in one proper editing that you realize na they all have the same goal regardless kung sino mga kalaban nila.
Mhm.
And it's very fun to watch. Another fun thing to dissect is the entire pagbalik ni ni Nick Fury dun sa tower. Even before that,
Yeah.
um,
Oo.
yung ginamit Natasha did use her facial whatever mask technology that they have wasn't even properly explained, pero ginamit niya yon doon to infiltrate and also to give Nick Fury the opportunity to go back. Yeah. So they know that they're planning something big. And Pierce talagang pinapakita niya yung pagiging alpha male bad guy niya dito na okay, so
Yeah.
even without you guys I could actually override everything.
Yeah,
Pero
that
if
was such a badass moment for Nick Fury talaga.
pero also equally as smart and also as badass kay Pierce. Kasi pinaghandaan niya yung buong ano na yun. Yung linigay niya yung mga IDs or something.
Yeah.
It was also if anything happens talaga, he could actually detonate the Marty's electric root or whatever as an insurance. So whatever happens to him, may mamamatay talaga. And hindi magagawa ni Nick yung kailangan niyang gawin. So he was also put in a situation na okay, so anong unahin natin? Is it Natasha's life or is it this opportunity na ginagawa ni Pierce?
Yeah.
It was really methodically thought of. And mataas yung yung respect ko for Robert Redford's character kasi ano siya sobrang cunning niya towards his enemies Talagang pinag-iisipan niya. And ang tagal na rin yung part ng Shield. So he knows everything from top to bottom.
Yeah, kahit ano no, kahit what do you call this? Kahit super doon lang siya na-introduce as a character, parang you
Uh,
can feel his looming presence even doon mo malalaman na, oh, grabe yung presence niya sa Shield even before the Captain America Winter Soldier film. Like, alam mong ganun na yung, ganun na yung pamamalakad niya sa Shield and parang nag-iba bigla yung tingin mo when you watch back. Yeah.
yeah. You could watch back then na they're all surprised kung ano nangyari doon. Una surprised si Robert Redford na oy, buhay pa pala si Nick.
Yeah, oo.
Buhay pa si Nick. And
You
then
never thought.
tinanggal ni Natasha yung Scarlet yung mask.
Mhm.
Ayun na. Okay, ha ha ha. So I'm back. Sabi ni Nick Fury. And then okay, ha ha ha. Jokes on you. I have something here also. And then pinindot niya, pak, patay yung tatlo. Given the opportunity, who would you tawag dito, who would you sacrifice? Who would you save? Is it Natasha or the entire world?
Yeah.
It's you're placed into another situation na may great stakes na naman. So, ayun, leading up to the other scenes in the movie na patapos na yung movie pero shit. Ang daming magaganda dito na pwede pag-usapan, honestly. Ang
Yeah,
daming scenes na
super.
pwede breakdown. Ang hirap mag-isip ng parts na pwede maganda i-breakdown. Siguro let's go ahead and wind back a bit pagdating sa characterization. Nick Fury here, um, did you also enjoy Samuel L. Jackson's characterization of Nick Fury in this one?
Yeah, I always enjoy Samuel Jackson's Nick Fury, like especially with this film, because this is the first film that we really saw him as Nick Fury, the super spy. Because in the
Mm,
Avengers, in Iron Man 2, you just see him as parang ano someone who um kumbaga parang someone who leads or someone who brings these people together. Pero dito you really saw him in action. Dito mo nakita with his gadgets, dito mo siya nakita kung paano siya on his heyday, di ba? So, with I really love as well how we got to know more about Nick Fury in this series tuloy, in this film. And I think the next film na naging gantong kalaki yung presence ni Nick Fury was ano na was Captain Marvel and then Spider-Man Far From Home. So medyo ang layo ng pagitan pero every time na lumalabas si Nick Fury, it's a joy to watch. That's why I'm super excited for the Secret Invasion series kasi si Nick Fury yung bida doon. And again, Samuel L. Jackson is Samuel L. Jackson.
I think
Ganun.
hopefully they do justice sa ano, sa Secret Invasion. Yun lang masasabi ko.
Yeah, I
Kasi
really hope so.
recent releases nila, it's nah. Yun lang din masasabi ko. And
That's where we disagree.
yun ang masasabi ko, the recent releases nila here. For me,
Yeah, gets.
there's some parts na medyo, I don't know. Siguro cynical na lang din ako dahil ang laki ng jump kasi ng quality from this film and then going back to this year. But that's
Mhm.
again for a different topic. But yeah, Nick Fury here, I agree also na we saw Nick Fury as the spy na dapat talaga siya. And yung commanding presence na dito, you could also feel it. Even malapit na siya mamatay, may respeto pa rin yung ano, yung mga tao sa kanya. May respeto pa rin si Captain America sa kanya.
Yeah.
Regardless kung may doubt siya. He's even commanding Captain America to look at my phone. Ganun siya. Okay,
Yung
may
yung
signal
someone's
tayo na.
listening.
Uh, pero I would love to see sana dun sa ano na parang lumaban din siya. Yung tipong alam mo yun,
Mm,
gumamit
mm.
din ng baril,
Yeah,
lumaban
gets,
din
gets,
katulad
gets.
yan, katulad ni Natasha, sabay silang dalawa pero yeah, it's really a joy seeing Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson portraying him here. And he brings a lot of gravitas then in the movie. Ano ba? Crossbones dito, wala rin masyadong ano eh. Wala rin
Yeah,
masyadong
ano
ginawa
pa
si
lang to
Crossbones eh.
ito pa lang yung ano ni Crossbones
Pre,
parang
pre,
ito pa
parang
yung
ano pa lang yun.
introduction niya. He was just being introduced as this asshole. So, dun pa siya sa next film talaga. Pero yun lang, hindi man siya big part masyado.
Hindi siya big part masyado.
Oo.
Even si, meron pa siyang isang, meron pang isa, di ba?
Yeah, the
Dalawa
big
sila
guy.
dito eh. Yeah.
Uh,
Which na ano ko na ang pangalan niya sa Batman versus Superman si um andun din siya eh, sa Batman versus Superman eh. Yung big guy si KBG, yung KBG
hmm,
character doon. Yung nakalimutan ko tuloy pangalan. Medyo na-mix ko yung mga pangalan ng character sila. Um, pero yung buong team niya was solid to begin with.
yeah.
And it's very sad na
Yeah,
their own team
kasi
tatraidorin ka
nakita itong mga to
for some
during
reason.
that time na
And sorry, may narinig akong feedback.
Oo nga,
But
nag-feedback.
and I think it's ano, yung speaker pero that's okay, that's fine. So I had fun watching this movie. Siguro we could actually end this one and talk to something else, but also Captain America related. Pero
Yeah.
at this day and age, and alam natin technology is already advanced so much, even in cinemas, and how they handle, how they film things. Do you
Mhm.
think the Winter Soldier actually stood the test of time so
Oh,
far?
yeah. Yeah, of course. For me, given the Marvel content that we have now. So Marvel right now is really going for the big guns. Kumbaga, they're really going for time travel. They're going for multiverse. So having a film like this, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, which was very grounded, we can liken it to more like Daredevil, Punisher, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. That those grounded series. It will really stand the test of time. Other than it being a superhero film, it is also a great spy film nonetheless. So alam naman natin na ang spy genre in like in the world, in the States or in Hollywood, is really a big thing as well. So
Mm.
for those who are not into superhero films that much, they will still like this film because it's, again, it's not just a great superhero film, it's a great spy film as well. It's a great thriller. So yeah, I believe it stood the test of time, and it's still one of the best films to come out 2010s.
Yeah. On my end naman, it did stand the test of time, and I still believe it's probably my number two MCU
Okay.
movie of all time. Number
This is my
one is
number
still
one actually.
sa'yo. Good.
Yeah, oo.
Yeah. Number one kasi sa akin is Iron Man. Kasi kung wala yung Iron Man,
It
hindi
started
nagsimula
everything
itong mga
kasi
to. But if I'm going to include all Marvel, not just the MCU, number one ko is Blade 1. Blade
yeah,
1 is
yeah.
number one, and then Spider-Man, then yun, Iron Man, and then this. I would rank this higher than ano talaga, than First Avenger, just because of number one yung dread na mararamdaman mo when you watch this movie
True.
for the
Oo.
first time. This movie is actually classified as a not just a thriller, may part na medyo horrorish na yung dating niya because of the plot. Yung
Mm.
plot niya is very scary kung tutusin. The stakes are very high, for not as high as, let's say, Endgame or
The
Infinity
world
High,
ending
Infinity War
stuff,
High,
yeah.
yeah. It's not that high, but for the amount of characters na nandito, and that the um, the amount of characters, and also the development that you'd see when you watch this movie, even for a second, third time, you're quick to realize na okay, so what happens if Hydra actually wins this one? What happens if the Winter Soldier actually finishes his mission? What happens
Yeah.
if Captain America dies? So wala na talagang shield by that time. And I it sets up a good premise on what would happen on Civil War. And since
Yeah.
ramdam mo talaga na there's a connection between those movies, all of those movies.
Mhm.
And favorite character, as I said a while ago, I'm still leaning with Steve Rogers kasi may bias with Captain America. That's fine. And yeah, I would rate this movie in sabihin natin 1 to 5, 5 being the highest. This is actually a 4.8, close 5 for me. And Franz and I, we could actually agree na it's really rewatchable.
Super.
Kung gusto mo panoorin na day na umuulan lang, okay, gusto ko manood ng something medyo mag-iisip din ako. Kasi marami ka pa madidiscover sa movie na 'to, eh. Don't
Yep.
watch YouTube or any breakdowns, marami ka pa rin madidiscover how many times mo panoorin. Siguro first time kapag katulad ka ni Franz na fan ka ng ano, ng comics niya, you could get some references. Even me, may mga nakuha akong references dito sa movie na 'to. Pero the more na pinanood ko, the more that I realize, especially now, na marami pang hidden meanings dito kung tutuusin.
Yeah. Every watch, meron kang marirealize na bago. Ganun yung magagandang films na, for me kasi, the really nice films are the ones that you need to watch again.
Mm,
Kasi doon ka meron lalong nahihimay, or in English, doon ka meron lalong napipeel off na layers.
you
Whether
have to
it be the
dissect.
characters, yeah, the elements of
Mm.
the film, or even the story. So, that's why I really, really love this film. Kasi every time I rewatch this film, I always discover something new. Like, in in all aspects of the film.
Mm. Baka meron pa nga uli na hindi natin alam, eh.
Yeah, oo nga eh.
Lalo na ngayon ang daming nangyayari. There could be, but yeah,
Yeah.
okay, so that's the entire discussion for Captain America, Winter Soldier, and I would like to at least touch a bit of a topic. Um, kasi sinabi mo nga you enjoyed then another part of Captain America's history, a character within the Winter Soldier and also Civil War, si Black Widow. Onti lang. That's such a bit.
Yeah.
Ano na-enjoy mo dun sa movie na yun, just to be honest?
Oh, okay. Sa Black Widow na film,
Yeah.
na ano, yung standalone film niya. I loved how the film was really um like again, I'm a sucker for spy films. I love how this film was really a spy film for first and foremost. Na for me, in my opinion, this had one of the best opening scenes, and also one of the best intro in terms of its exposition to the story, and it's being gritty, and it's introducing us to the characters. Itong film na to yun, like from the start pa lang in 1995 when we saw them in Ohio, na they were just a family of super spies, or they were just a family of spies, di ba? Living undercover. And then doon natin makikita na ayun na discover na sila. Tapos they had to go back to Russia. And then the opening credits, yung with the song playing, I forgot lang yung title ng song. That told the story of the whole film in like a 1 or 2 minute introduction, which was really nice. It told the premise of the film. And the way it was treated, it wasn't like any MCU film that I saw, because it was very dark. Um, it was dark in a sense na alam mo yung ginagawa nila when you compare it to the real world. And yun. So, again, sorry, ang dami ko sinabi. But aside from that,
No, it's fine.
what I really loved about this film as well is yung message niya. I discussed this on my episode sa
Mm.
podcast ko. I discussed this film because more than the film itself, I really loved the message. Na it was really an empowering film in terms of especially to women. Na kasi this film showed us like kung ano yung nagagawa ng isang sexist or isang ng misogyny, kumbaga, sa society natin. Like, this how yung representation niya. And very, ano rin very timely din right now, especially with the leaders that we have right now. So, ang ganda ng parallels niya sa mundo natin ngayon. And
Mm.
thinking, looking back dun sa mga recent MCU releases natin, for me, that's why I love it so much. Kasi I love the recent releases so much. Kasi it now reflects what's happening in our society. It's not just going to the movies and watching and going to get away and be, mas talk sa fantasy. And now it's now reflecting the real world. And Black Widow, the film, really did that. Really did that well. Could have there been more improvement? Yes, especially dun sa final act. Pero other than that, I really like the film.
Okay. I think this is where our agreements end. Yeah,
Mm. Gets
because
naman.
yeah, again, I do respect Francis' opinion on the movie because, as I said, this should. Ito yung dito ako naasar. Not you, not you. Dito ako naasar when people try to make quarrels regarding the opinions of what we watch. So
Mm.
nagkakaroon ng fan backlash, which I've experienced a lot of times this year. Because I have a different way on how I look at movies. And dati parang normal lang na you said it a while ago na people just go to movies and watch them for the enjoyment of watching an action movie, a suspense, a horror para lang maka-escape reality. And Jace knows this because Jace and I do some streams. Um, I agree with most of the takes that you said, but I think what really turned me off with Black Widow is the writing of the movie. There are a lot of fundamental mistakes na ginawa dito, especially the character of Natasha. And number one for me is she had a back seat dito sa movie na to. Naging bida dito si Florence Pugh. And some people would say na it's okay, Natasha's still there, but isn't it the reason why Marvel should have made a Black Widow movie is to highlight si ano mismo, si Natasha Romanoff and also Black Widow mismo as being this entity or at least this spy na umalis na sa society nila or yung group nila because ayaw na niya eh. And she was considered as one of the best or probably the best agent ng Black Widow program. As far as I've seen it in the movie nung pinanood ko, it was very far from it. Dahil kinailangan niya ng sobrang daming tulong kung tutuusin. Doon
Mm.
pa lang sabi ko, why did you actually write Natasha as is parang medyo weak siya compared sa iba? And medyo iba yung dating sa akin. Even yung Taskmaster mismo, we both know that wasn't Taskmaster kung tutuusin. El,
That's
madami
where,
si
ayan,
Taskmaster.
that's where the
Yun,
other point na I disagree naman with you on that. Pero sige, go. I like
no,
hearing
it's
your
fine.
thoughts din. Yeah, oo.
Kasi if you're going to look at it, when I looked at it subjectively, I know Taskmaster. Naglaro ako ng mga Marvel games before. This is not the Taskmaster na alam ko. One could
Mhm.
say na it's the Taskmaster program. Given Taskmaster program. Pero you could see kung paano niya CGI. Si, I forgot the name ng model. She's also in Hitman. Kitang-kita dun sa itsura niya na linagay lang yung mukha niya, which sabi ko, why did you do this? Sana ginawa niyo na lang anak. Ginawa niyo na lang anak ng kalaban, lalaki. And that person knows how to do things with the program na linagay sa kanya instead of forcing na babae siya. Kasi kitang-kita dun eh, si Andy Lister dapat si Taskmaster. And yun yung mga major flaws dito. Actually, I have a lot of things na pwedeng sabihin dito pero I'd just like to keep it short. It's just a short discussion regarding this movie
Mm.
because even if we do have opposing
Yeah.
tawag dito, opposing views dito, one thing that we have is we still watch it as fans. Yun
Yeah.
yun eh. We both watch it as fans. I didn't enjoy it. You enjoyed it. And I'm happy for you that you enjoyed it. Siguro for me, a lot of things siguro dapat inayos nila. And I would have enjoyed it siguro kung hindi nila in-advertise si Taskmaster as lalaki nung una. In-advertise nila yun before eh. Na nagbigay sila ng trailer na okay. So Andy Lister, ninagay na nila eh. It's in articles na Andy Lister is actually the Taskmaster. Promote pa nila. And then, bam. Okay. So another false advertising. And then, ano pa bang flaw dito na nakita ko? Yung pagiging watered down character ng tatay nila. Dahil we've seen it. I totally agree. Yung pinakaunang opening scene is one of the coolest scenes na meron in the MCU. And it's very comparable. Kaya siningit ko na tong Black Widow because most of the facets na meron sa Black Widow is also present with the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
So, yung scene na yon minus yung song, kahit tanggalin ko na yung song, maganda pa rin lahat. Yung
Mhm.
unang first quarter nito movie, first 20 minutes ng movie na to, totally enjoy ko. And then it became a different vibe, this movie. Probably because they have 4 or 5 writers. I don't know. Nasa na nila yung discretion nila how they made the movie.
The
Pero
film had two writers, Cary Scogland and another guy. I forgot lang yung name ng isang guy. Parang basta two writers siya from what I know.
siguro nagkaroon ng clashing doon sa kanila. Dahil it felt na parang hindi naging cohesive yung transition from the first quarter of the movie and then naging iba-iba na siya. But action-wise, I still enjoy the actions in this one. Maganda yung fight scenes nila.
Mm.
Some some dumb decisions na meron. Pero yeah, it's for me it's a 6 out of 10. Yun yung rate ko.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm happy na may nakausap na akong locally dito na may opposing view na na-enjoy din kahit anong sabihin. Ako naman na-enjoy. I get it na may nag-enjoy talaga. Siguro within time I will watch it again and probably enjoy it much more than I first watched it. And moving forward, siguro yun na lang din yung hihingin ko from the MCU na mas maganda. I even watch Shang-Chi at this point. Hopefully lumabas dito. I will also watch that. And it's okay. It's okay naman. Pero, eh. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. But before we close this one, Franz, can you give the people watching at least your top five na rewatchables mo? Top five movies, like
Okay,
recommendations
sige.
mo.
I will share with everyone my comfort films. Kumbaga, ito yung mga films that I can always go back to whenever I just want to watch something to make me feel good. So, first, of course, ito, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. This is one of my favorite superhero films and one of the best films that, in terms of action sequence, tone, music, especially, and direction. Yeah, so Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Add that to your watch list, guys. And then the next one is I'm Drunk, I Love You. So it's a romantic Filipino film na starring Maha Salvador and Paulo Avellino, directed by JP Habak. So it's a film about unrequited love, about two best friends na the girl has been in love for the guy, has been in love with the guy for 7 years. So, yun, doon mo malalaman kung ano yung mga mangyayari sa film na to, which was really nice. Such a great comfort film in terms of how it's made, yung setting niya, which was in La Union, and also its soundtrack, one of the best soundtracks. Yun, so it's premiering on Netflix on September 15. So I'm Drunk, I Love You. Yes. Third film for me will be Your Name Engraved Herein. So it's a Taiwanese LGBTQ film. So it stars Edward Chen and Jinghua Cheng. So it's a queer film that's about two high school boys finding romance at the time na being gay or being queer was looked down upon, especially in a country like Taiwan, which is heavily influenced by China, na alam naman natin na how they look down upon queer people there. So, ang ganda ng film, it's really painful, and ang ganda-ganda ng story niya, ang ganda-ganda ng writing, and ang galing ng acting ng characters dito. So, it's also on Netflix. My fourth film that I want to recommend to you guys is In the Mood for Love. So this is a classic 2000s film, directed by Wong Kar-wai, and stars Tony Leung. If you know him from
Mhm.
Shang-Chi, he's Wenwu, and also stars Maggie Chong. So this is about two adults who met at the wrong time kasi pareho na silang may kanya-kanyang pamilya. No? So it's really one of the best films in terms of cinematography, in terms of acting. Tony Leung and Maggie Chung were super great in this film, and the direction of Wong Kar-wai was really top notch here. So I recommend you guys to watch this film. It's available on, I think it's on Amazon Prime, and makikita niyo siya online. Maraming websites where you can buy the film as well. And lastly, for my fifth film, it's another Filipino film. Ito naman, medyo underrated siya, and not everyone knows this film. Pero this film is Extra. So, EKSTRA. So, it's a film starring Vilma Santos. So, she plays an extra in this film. So, extra meaning yung mga extra on the teleseries or on the different movies. So, this is more of a satire on how the film industry or how the TV industry
Mhm.
treats yung mga yung mga extra natin. And ang ganda ng story niya, ang ganda ng mga references, especially if mahilig ka sa pop culture. Yon. So very watchable niya rin, and available siya on I Want. Yon. Yeah, that's my recommendations.
Nice, nice. Daming locals, no? Daming locals na magaganda. Which, yeah, I have to dive into more local movies. So, more
Yeah.
international talaga yung hilig ko eh. Siguro for
Oo.
me, ano ba panoorin ko this week? I'm actually going back in time, and I'm going to watch An American in Paris and also Singing in the Rain. So by
Mm, yeah.
tomorrow, I'm going to
Great musical.
yeah, paborito ko si Gene Kelly, and back at the time na pinanood ko sila, na enjoy ako. Right now, I'm feeling some nostalgic vibes now. Okay, what if I watch this again? It's been years na pinanood ko yung dalawa. So those are my two, and then another, sorry, time traveling movie, probably one of the grandfathers of time traveling movie genre, which stars Christopher Reeve, also one of my favorite movies of all time, Somewhere in Time with Christopher Reeve and also Jane Seymour.
Mm.
It's a very cool movie. Would leave it at best kasi yun, kung meron benchmark for me in time traveling love story, this is it. Ito yung pinakamaganda sa lahat for me. It was made in the 80s, during nung height ni Christopher Reeve as Superman. So, nadala niya yung crowd niya doon. And then, eh, let's just say, para siyang time traveler's wife, pero mas maganda pa. Yun na lang sasabihin ko. Also, going to watch Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon again. Panay
Yeah,
luma yung
just watch
pinapanood
that.
ko ngayon. Yeah.
Kakapanood ka lang sa kanya rin.
Stig, no? Ang ganda pa rin niya hanggang ngayon. Maganda pa rin
Yeah.
siya. And siguro in modern movie, what am I watching? Major Grom in Netflix is a very enjoyable Russian movie. Medyo superhero-wish siya na hindi. More detective. If you're fans of Lupin, medyo ganun siya. Not really, pero medyo ganun yung theme niya. And also Samurai X, Rurouni Kenshin, the entire catalog is also available in our local Netflix, 1 to 4 or 1 to 3. So dalaw
Yeah.
in sa movie that two parts siya. But okay, I think that's everything that we have for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But before we go, I'm also going to plug Francis'
Wow.
page. Also
Thank
in
you.
Podcast. You're also present in Spotify. Meron pa bang iba besides Spotify?
Yeah, so my podcast, Tara Let's Unpack, is
This is a good movie.
available. Yes, napakaganda niyan. Okay. Actually, nanonood ngayon yung isa sa yung guest ko dyan sa episode na yan. Hi, Rian. Yeah, no,
Nice.
so you can find Tara Let's Unpack on Instagram. Ay, sorry. You can find Tara Let's Unpack, or you can stream Tara Let's Unpack on Spotify, also on Apple Podcasts, on Google Podcasts, or wherever you consume your podcast. And you can follow us on social media, on Facebook and Twitter at Tara Let's Unpack Pod. Yun. And Letterbox as well. Yun.
Or alam ko pinag-usapan natin off air, pero are you expected, are we expecting any more for this year, or naka-hiatus ka talaga?
Yeah, so for the first season of my podcast, we are currently on a season break. So I just had my season finale last September 2. So kaka-release ko yung episode. So the episode I released was Dito at Doon with the director of the film, Direct JP Habak. So we will resume by next year kasi sa agency, December months na sa agency life. So medyo busy na
Yes.
ulit. Kaya ganun. Pero yeah, I'm looking forward to guesting more guests, and guesting more directors sana. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just creating connections naman along the way.
Yeah, oo.
I'm happy you actually had this tawag dito, this avenue na it seems like your Spotify is doing very well talaga kasi madami ka na nagawa in your
Yeah.
season 1. I'm hoping for more good episodes from you, man. I follow some of
Thank
your
you,
ano,
thank you.
I listen to some kapag may panahon ako sa trabaho, nakikinig talaga ako. That's why I also saw him, also part of Podcast PH.
Yeah.
And yeah, go ahead and follow Franz, and in Tagalog hindi kayo magsisisi na finalo niyo siya kasi marami siyang magagandang content in English if you guys want to follow him, or I advise you to follow him to enjoy more content, especially for our friends from the US tuning in a while ago. And yeah, so for me naman, next week it's still up in the air. Hindi ko pa alam gagawin ko, but after that, on October, I am planning a whole month panay horror films ang gagawin ko. Um, meron na naka-line up, and hopefully maganda yung kalabas.
Wow,
I have
for
another
wow.
message. Yeah, highly recommended yung episode 4 about the sisters and the wedding. Oh, four sisters
Ah,
and the wedding. Yeah.
yeah, yan, yun yung isa sa guest ko na nakatulog before, yung nag-comment na yan. Gusto niya lang i-plug yung sarili niya. Hey, Nicole.
Buti na lang hindi ano yun, hindi video yun. Kasi, yeah, the reason why I do video kasi wala akong time mag-edit ngayon. But yeah,
Okay, gets.
but it's very easy to use StreamYard and also televise if people actually would like to do it. Again, siguro yun na din final thoughts namin. Just go out and enjoy. Watch whatever you want to watch. If you
Yes.
would like to talk about it, message me. Tignan natin kung ano pwede mangyari. Kasi busy si Franz ngayon. Hindi mo masisisi. It's already the fourth damn quarter. Hindi mo na
Q4.
ma-expect. Oo nga, hindi mo na expect na po siya patapos na naman yung 2021 and then may ano pa rin yung nangyayari. But yeah, closing remarks na namin yun. Thank you so much for being here, guys. If you like to watch the episode again, it will always be available in YouTube, lalo na ngayon nakuha ko ulit yung aking YouTube channel. Follow me also in Facebook, and it was before Stay at Home Podcast, but now it is 0 Hour Discussions because I'm transitioning a bit more into this sort of topics and fandom topics. So I'm not sure if you guys enjoy it. Feel free to subscribe. If not, that's fine. Thank you so much for being here, people. And Franz, again, thank you so much for also accepting my invitation to talk about
No
Captain
problem.
America.
Thank you so much.
No problem. So yeah, that's all for now. Take care and enjoy.